I'd seen the ELVI online and some of their things that they'd done, like going out to Texas Motor Speedway. They had them all doing wheelies out on the track. Why Elvis appeals to people? I think Elvis is just the embodiment of celebrity. Elvis is something that everybody can recognize. Even people who weren't alive when Elvis was performing know who Elvis is. Are costuming mishaps common? We've had, limited problems. I mean, almost everybody rips up their outfit at some point. Last week we had a guy who was blowing oil out of his engine, and his whole back of his cape looked like he had, dragged it through a puddle of oil. It was really bad. We encourage all riders to ride that bike, but we have a whole range of bikes. We have the Z50s from later years and the CRF 50s that are basically the legacy of the Z50. So you can get away with riding almost anything. There are a couple of our guys who are bigger guys and they ride bigger bikes because the Z50s just, you got to be able to get around, and we zip around pretty good. We've sort of developed a routine of Elvis hand gestures, what I've come to call kung fuing the camera. A lot of people like to take pictures with us, and our signature pose is like this. A lot of people may be familiar with Elvis's love for karate and kung fu, and he used to actually do it on stage. And I mean, he'd do kicks and everything. And if you watch old footage of Elvis, you'll see him doing his karate moves, and that's exactly what he's doing. So that's one of our signature things, and we have someone in the picture with us. We always make them do it too, so that they can be a little closer to Elvis. Being with the ELVI is kind of a wild ride in the respect that we never know exactly what to expect. Sometimes the weather conditions are bad, sometimes the road conditions are bad. I actually went down for the first time in 8 years at the last ride because there was a huge patch of gray slippery stuff. It was so slippery that when I stood up I almost slipped again on my feet. That's part of what we do. Is there's a little bit of adventure involved. We try to go and have an adventure. We try and go have fun. We've gone to places like Fair Park during December when it was closed down. Not to the public, but for the fair was not going on. And one of my favorite pictures is we were riding across this thin curb that goes through the reflecting pond. And I saw Brian Hunt do it, so I said, I'm going to give it a try, and got about probably 20 feet out there before I went off the edge. But that's part of the story. It's part of the adventure.